What's up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Tracy.
Yeah, it's a fake Friday, and I'm mankind's one of a kind, Chimp.
That's right. We are always on form to info.
Bombarding with no warning.
In the headlines, the blame game.
Museveni signs new bills.
Gen Z in the workplace.
Apple makes history.
Let's get started. In a recent financial scandal, approximately 50 billion Ugandan shillings was fraudulently diverted from the Bank of Uganda. Now, that money was set to pay back loans to the World Bank and African Development Bank. So it mysteriously and fraudulently was sent away.
Man, these hackers were on a real one. In 60 seconds, bro.
50 billion shillings. And a lot of money like that can just go in a minute.
Like this.
Vanish. So now the Accountant General of Uganda basically said that these accounts that the money was sent to in Tokyo and London were private accounts and they were not registered on the government's payment systems. Therefore, you can't hold the Ministry of Finance accountable. But now, the deputy governor of the Bank of Uganda, Mr. Michael Antigiego, basically came out to say that the Ministry of Finance authorizes and is responsible for such transactions. So, they are like this.
It's a bit tight.
It was you.
Bank of Uganda. No,
it's
you
not, it's
did.
like
No, you did.
It's
like
not
my
they're
fault.
both trying to prove that it's not their fault. Instead of coming together to say, look, we were defrauded. Like, they stole money. They hacked us. How can we fix the problem?
Yeah.
And instead of doing that, they are just...
Spider-Man meme. Everybody's out here trying to get the other guy, you know?
You know what I mean?
But yeah, it's crazy to think that this is the Bank of Uganda.
Now, you think they would just...
What's going to happen to the rest of the banks?
Like, this is their main
This is
bank.
the central...
The main one you are...
And
Guys.
we have played 50 billion.
50 billion, you are pointing fingers instead of finding a way to trace the hack and find a way to get the money back. You're just blame. It's a blame game.
That's
Hi, guys.
But more than just solving the issue and having better cybersecurity, right? I'm thinking a test can still be done out of all of this, you know? Just try to find what channel, what accounts, how it went out, and then make a whole... They can't make a case out of this?
Of course they can.
And try to go to court or something like that?
I guess they can, for sure. But, like, the thing is, now they need to work together to find the problem, to do that, instead of just
pointing fingers. Guys, let's come together. Let's have some amalgamation so we can take the nation to where it's supposed to be.
I thought you were going to find another Asian.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has signed 9 bills into law. Basically, some of these ones here, we're seeing that the agencies have to merge with the ministries, right? So that these structural changes can take place, right? Now, this is something that we've been waiting for, right? As we have seen, UNRWA has been dissolved and is going to be part of the Ministry of Works and Transport. And we've also seen DDA be dissolved into the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries, right?
Yeah.
So
earlier this year, there was a conversation about rationalization where they were basically assessing whether or not they need agencies or if they can just be merged with the ministries because it's redundant. It's like 2 offices doing the same thing. And more than that, because there are people working there that are being paid, and sometimes the work they do is not effective or they just don't do anything, but there are large sums of money that are getting lost in there. And so that's why there was this whole idea of rationalization. And I personally am glad to see that Museveni is actually living up to his word and is signing these things off so that we reduce government spending small.
yeah, because man, they were taking a lot of money, man.
Yeah, and it was a bit redundant to have those two.
Yeah. So we love to see it, man. However, there has been a potential concern for the people that have been working in these particular agencies. And so many people are saying, hey man, we might be losing our jobs, you know, and critics also came out to say, what happens to people's jobs? You know, is there any sort of job security? And the government has come out to say, because of this dissolving, you know, there are still going to be positions that are going to be held in these particular departments under these ministries, right? So some people are going to have their jobs, others might have to reapply, you know, and they are addressing the issue of this particular one, showing them that there's going to be potential for more opportunities
in public service.
Exactly.
So we saw the ABSA MD say a few things on his X. And he kind of ate with that one. just a bit. He talked about Gen Zs in the workplace, and he basically, to sum it up, basically was saying that Gen Zs and the older people in the workplace need to come together. The older people need to come with teaching and relatability, whereas the young people need to come with to listen and a willingness to learn from their experiences, which I think is a pretty valid argument. I mean, he did say that Gen Zs are all about instant gratification. You know, we want what we want and we want it now.
Yeah.
You know, as opposed to being patient and allowing for things to fall into place. We're a lot more aggressive with the things that we want and how we want them, and we're not afraid to vocalize it. And I think that now it's kind of a polarizing thing, whereas some people may appreciate it. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Millennials are like the unloved middle child, whereas Gen X's, they love Gen Zs. And Gen Zs are more open to Gen X's than they are to millennials.
Yeah. So here, I see two things involved, you know, based off what he said. There's knowledge and there's wisdom.
Yeah.
The Gen Zs are coming from the era of information.
Yes.
Information is accessible and you can become a professional in literally anything because you can access this knowledge anywhere on any platform, right? You don't need a whole library to walk around and look for this thing. It's just a tap. You know, I just go and TikTok it. You know, I go and Google it. I could go and chat GPT.
Whereas for them, they had to go to the library and look for a whole
look
book.
for all
so
this
that thing of patience was instilled in them.
Exactly.
But for us, it's literally at our fingertips.
And because they have applied knowledge, they have wisdom. So if we have the knowledge and someone that has the applied knowledge is coming to tell us, hey, do it this way.
Yeah.
I think we could even do a better job
Absolutely.
for any other generation that came before us.
Absolutely.
So I just think we just need to have that sort of amalgamation, taking it back.
Yeah.
Amalgamation, good communication, so we can bless this nation.
But if they think Gen Z is a problem, wait until the Gen Alpha starts working.
However, I beg to differ, because here in Uganda, the situation is kind of different from the rest of the world, because the World Bank came up with a statistic saying a Ugandan only reaches 38% of their productivity. And that's why it's very hard to even hire a Ugandan, even in Uganda, right? So you don't really see the value for money that you're putting in, especially as an employer, right? And that's why we get to see all of these things, you know, happening. So yeah.
Now take a look at what people around our building had to say about this.
A Gen Z one says, it's giving. What is it giving? Eh?
A Gen Z once said, artificial intelligence is here.
A Gen Z once said, what up, my boss? Oh my God, Portia, my voice has gone. But he used his voice to tell me his voice has gone. A Gen Z once said, very demure. You're tiresome!
Guys, Apple has made history once again, as they have been valued at 3.8 billion.
Trillion.
Hey, 3.8 trillion as a proper company up there, man. And guys, you know it's lonely at the top. I think that's the theme song of Apple. You know, because we're 3.8 trillion. You know, Steve came through, he gave people jobs. Tim came through and he cooked. So guys, he's still cooking us in a pot, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, you love your things of conspicuous consumption, but that's also what we use here on our bulletin.
But I
we use
wonder.
phones, guys. We use the
Actually,
iPhone.
yeah, we film on iPhone 14 Pro Maxes. Proper quality.
You had
But,
to put the Pro Max there.
of course. But I wonder, because remember they said they're not going to be doing releases as frequently as they were.
As they were.
I wonder if this is going to affect them.
You know, because of the introduction of Apple Intelligence, they're trying to get this and put it in as many devices as possible
In the
for the ecosystem of Apple. And we're seeing new things are coming out, you know. We have the thinnest iPad that has ever been made, and that was released this year, right? Close to like $4,000, right? But it works like a Mac, right?
Yeah.
And then we also have Macs that are as powerful as the way the Pros were, right? We have the M4 that has been released this year.
Yeah.
You know, we have the M4 Mac Mini. So if you want a device that's not as expensive as the Macs, you know, as expensive as the iPad, but you want a computer, you buy your Mac Mini. It's this small, you know, but it's as strong as all those devices, and it can have Apple Intelligence as well, you know.
Let me come through with my conspiracies for a second. Apple's marketing is insane. because they've marketed themselves in this sort of niche or like this upper echelon way that it's like everyone is somehow conditioned to want to get the latest Apple product, you know, and it's conspicuous.
No, two things. You give people a very good product and you market it well.
But
You make the
anyway,
money.
me, I love Apple, but sometimes it's copy paste. Sometimes
Copy paste what?
some things, guys.
Apple
But just
intelligence
because it's
in
an
the world.
iPhone and because it's Apple, people will want to buy it. Sometimes it's not as good as a Samsung, but we will buy
There's
it
not
because we're
sometimes
so conditioned.
because everybody knows if you have a good product and you market it well.
I
Sharp.
think it's all in the marketing. It's time for the profile.
And as you know, Joe Quiz Clean gets us a champion in society every single day. Joe Quiz Clean, take it away.
Greetings and blessings. My name is Jockeys Clean, NBS Culture Connect, always informed to inform, bombarding with no warning. We do not take time, we do it as it comes in. And today we have another champion from our society. This one is Lamu Sounds. A brand new EP is out, Infinity. Go stream it. She's been in front of our eyes for quite a while, but today we get to stream. We get to talk about the journey and you know, her latest song, Paula. You're very welcome on the show, Lamu.
Thank you.
Usually I don't even stammer in the intros. I'm like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I was about to be like, yo,
Calm down. It's me.
it's just me. We have been doing this.
How are you?
Fine.
Good
How
to
are
see you.
Good to see you.
So in this show, we try to understand people, understand their journey,
Yeah.
where they came from. I think our first encounter with you must have been through that Empower project, was it?
Yes.
All right, tell us from there.
Through Empower 100,
Mm.
I submitted a video. There was this competition going on. There were Mr. Easy and Empower Africa were looking for about 100 artists across Africa to sponsor. So I was picked to represent Uganda out of hundreds and hundreds and probably thousands of videos. So we thank God. That's where the journey kind of shot and to get to where we are today. And it's been a long journey. So I put out an EP back in 2020, and then I think for me my music kind of slowed down towards COVID, and then I went back to school.
Nice.
Yeah, I went back to school, and actually I'm graduating this month.
Oh, that's when you
I'm
went.
graduating in September.
Although it's been 3 years.
Yeah, it's been 3 years, and I spent this year doing my research.
What were
So
you studying?
I've been studying international relations and diplomatic studies. So yeah,
Madam
I'm a-
Diplomat.
yeah, diplomacy, humanitarian stuff, basically how the world works, how governments work, politics, anything. Yeah.
But then the break wasn't satisfying, I guess, because here you are with the music still.
The thing is, I think what I would want people to understand is that I never came out and quit music. That's, at least I can stand on that. I never came out and said, I'm done with music, I'm never coming back. I just kept quiet, went and did what I had to do, the school thing, you know, and then I'm also working on TV, I do a travel show. So yeah.
Nice. It's good to see this. It's always good to see you walking and tapping into the different bags of talent.
Yeah.
And recently, Paula, the song is
Yeah.
very new.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Is it you I'm listening and
Yeah.
seeing? It's nice. What were you trying to do with the song?
Well, the thing with Mpola is just getting the chance to work with Atin. Atin hasn't
As the
really.
first project together?
Yeah, definitely first project together. It's something I'd wanted to do for a while, and I think Atin is an amazing person. He is so amazing. I always say it in almost all the interviews I've done. Female artists who want to work with big producers
Yeah.
and just want to get the vibe and feel safe. And I don't know, but I could vouch for Atin. He's an amazing person. He just made me feel like a superstar. And I know he's worked with bigger stars, but I still felt like worthy and a superstar. And I felt like everything I was doing was leading to something great. And he's so encouraging. So I'm glad I got to work on Paula. And I don't know what you think, but I think
I
he
love the
balanced
song.
me out.
Yeah, I love the song. I love the fact that, you know, when you hear it, you could still hear you from the past.
Yes.
But also you hear that you're developing into something
Yes.
else,
Yes.
exploring as well.
Yes.
That is to say that Atin is a professional producer.
He is.
I wanted to put a point there.
Yes.
And it's really important in this game for, you know, ladies to feel safe
Yes.
and